You always want to know where you've been and where you could go, right? That's how you always want to go into your week. You always want to know where you've been and where you could go. Where you've been is you came from this low, and this low is near a weekly, monthly order block on to the upside, a bullish order block. And you left this bullish order block on a higher time frame, and you're going to need to make stops, right? Each one of these made a stop, right? So once we made this little low right here, and this imbalance was left behind, it made this low, traded back into this imbalance, took about 50%. And I literally can show you the same thing on each one of these. Imbalance, traded to the middle, dropped again, imbalance, traded to about the middle, dropped again. But once it got to this point, it rejected to the upside. There's some smaller imbalances on the lower time frame that it traded into, but on the daily, we are getting our direction. So as it stands, we need to come at least to the middle of this. So we know we got some upside movement into at least the middle of this imbalance right here. Same thing over here. We're probably going to trade at least to the high of this imbalance and possibly into this one right here. So we know we got upside targets inside of this imbalance on SPX and to the top of this imbalance on NAS, middle of this imbalance on US 30 for sure. We can see that for sure, because nothing's going to slow this down unless we just have some bad news that's released on the open. So if we are still bullish, we can just assume that we at least trade to the middle of this imbalance up until we get to inside of this imbalance. We at least trade to the high of this imbalance, possibly into this imbalance. We at least trade to the middle of this imbalance and possibly to the low of this imbalance as targets to the upside. Once we get to those targets, then that's where we have to make the decision as to whether or not it's time for it to change directions, right? When it's time for it to change directions, we should see our market shift from those areas. And if it does, we'll start seeing our evening star setups, our order block setups to the downside, and then we can take it for a reversal, right? But we won't be looking for that until we get some reaction inside of these areas, right? So let me put the drawings back on. So in the case of SPX, already has been drawn up, right? We're inside of this low. We should start seeing signs of potential rejection around 39.62. That's our middle, right? If we don't get the middle rejections, like we didn't get it right here, we only got like a little pause right here. Let me look at the 4 hour. Yeah, we didn't even respond to that, the middle. Yeah, kind of, sort of, kind of right here. We got just above, just below it, but then we also had this wick rejection that kind of reacted to basically the middle. We were like 10 points away. So I'll say we did have a reaction, a minor reaction, but we didn't. Once we came back to it, there was really none until we got to the high and it just traded through. So we won't say. So we still have, they left this, so we didn't get that. Let me get that up off of there. We didn't over here as well. Left that alone. So for right now, we got 39.62 as a potential target going into And I'm just gonna draw this up again on this chart because this is the one I'm gonna send out. Since we got everything on this one. Anybody got any questions at all? Drop them in the chat, like, or just some comments, anything like that. If it's making sense, like just drop it in the chat. I want to kind of make this a little more active versus me just talking, because that's kind of boring. 4106.2, 4106.2. Nobody got anything? Nobody?
It's making sense so far.
Okay.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, Naomi, miss you. Hey, Corey.
What up? Is that?
Kirsten.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó,
Okay.
F?
You coming to Phoenix, right?
No, I ain't coming to Phoenix. No. When is it?
Don't do that. It's September 18th through the 20th, something like that.
Oh, yeah, I might can make it down.
September 15th through the 18th, actually.
Thank
¿Qué
you.
pasó, jefe?
Que lo que hay, mi gente, que lo que
Que lo
hay.
que lo que.
Already know.
I need to see y'all, man. I miss my team. You got to be there, Corey. You got to.
All right. I will give you an update. Yeah, but if it's September, yeah, I probably can come. 29. Oh, 8. All right. Que lo que. Yeah.
You got it, Papa. You got it. It's in your DNA.
It's in there somewhere. I don't know where he came from, man. Eight. So this is our other imbalance on the daily on SPX. So once we get in these areas, right? Once we get in these areas, this is where we are likely to see our higher lows or lower highs, right? They are the areas where there is bearish interest. And up until this point, if we don't get into if we just trade through these and we don't see any reaction, we already know that the intent is to continue higher, right? So that's why I always try to map out my imbalances and my order blocks, because that's where we're going to go. We don't get a higher low till we get there, right? So we could see a lower high around here or in here, and we got confirmation because we got order block, we got a monthly level here, we got an imbalance here, we got an imbalance here. So though we are pushing up, we already know that if we take a buy, we know where we should be trading to. If we take a sell, we know we should take the reaction from, because those are the highest probability areas, right? Highest probability areas because they are where the institutions have left their traces, right? They left their traces, right? They gave you the sign that this is where we are probably going to get a reaction from. So you don't have to like rush. You don't have to be taking every swing high, swing low, or whatever the case is on the lower time frame. You just know, hey, on the higher time frames, when I get to this point, what's going on the lower time frames at these particular areas, and at these particular areas, right? Am I getting a reaction? If I get the reaction that I'm looking for, once I see that, bam, take the trade. Don't even think about it again. And then you can go ahead and take your profit whenever you get to the next area that's left you the intentions from the upside, right? So you'll be looking for the bullish return, right? Because once we get our high, our lower high at some point, right, we're going to have this imbalance to the upside left behind. And then we're going to repeat the process just in the opposite direction to say, all right, cool. So now where could we buy from? This is a candle right here going to act as an order block, just like this one will too, right? These two candles are this the last down candle. So on a daily, this is not going to look like it's anything, but if we drop to the lower time frame, you'll see this area of interest. And we got the same thing on each one. Same candle here, here, and over here, right? And then in conjunction with that, we'll have the imbalance created eventually, right? So we'll know that if it's going to buy, that's the highest probability that it's going to buy from. And we just take it to that area. Once we get to that area, then we say, okay, is it giving us signs that it's ready to go in the opposite direction? Yes or no? If it's yes, we take the buy. We go to the lower time frame, and then we look for our areas that we could potentially take the buy from, and we go from there.
Hey, Corey, I think somebody had a question.
Yeah.
I read it.
Okay, cool. Let me just drop this up right quick. Let me just
Yeah, you got Alexis. She was saying or asking, since we fill that gap, does it react to that towards the opposite direction?
There is a possibility, right? So we filled this gap right here, right? If it wants to, we can look for the price to come back to this high or to the middle and continue from there to the upside, right? And even if it is going to sell off, right, you can look for it to sell off from these areas as well. Because if in a case like this where we filled it up with this much momentum, we're probably going to continue, right? And unless we get some kind of negative news, right? And in most cases, if it's going to continue, it'll likely use the high as the last place that it sells or buys from. So you'll have a situation where you have the imbalance to the upside that looks like this. Your candles are wrapped right here. Hold on. Right? And you'll have an imbalance that it traded through at some point, right? We'll just say this is our imbalance, right? And this used to be sell side imbalance. So we'll make this red. Used to be a sell side move, right? But because we've traded through it and we've filled in all of the price imbalance, it's a possibility we simply come back through and trade through this. And you'll notice we'll have a wick near that high, as we also created an additional imbalance to the opposite direction, right? This is our sell side imbalance that we got shaded. You'll see sell side imbalance that we got shaded, but in contradiction, we would have created a buy side imbalance overlaying it, and which means that we have balance priced in this area. We have balance price at this point because we would have traded through our sell side. Let me make this wick darker. Make this darker. We would have had sell side replaced with buy side. And then this buy side area becomes the area that if we look to trade back down to, that becomes a balanced price area. And because it's balanced, we can continue from there. Example here is this imbalance right here. We can see this was once sell side right here. And we'll zoom in on this little area right here. This was once sell side, just this piece right here, right? We hung out in this area, traded through it, and played around inside of here. We broke straight through it, right? And eventually we got to the top of this. It came back down. It used the bottom of this, and that's where we got this up move created. In this case, we left another buy side imbalance, right? We didn't use it because we still bearish. We didn't use it, right? And that's okay, because sometimes that's the case, right? And it's really from here to here, but I'll just annotate it from here. But the only place this down move tried to buy again after we start selling off was right here, inside of here. It failed, but that's still a sign that it at least tried to use it right here. And then you can see we had an imbalance that was here, and then another one that was here, right? Once we created this imbalance, it tried to buy from there, right? But again, we weren't ready because we were still bearish. And then we replaced that buy side with sell side. We replaced the buy side imbalance with the sell side imbalance that was left here. So we swept through this buy side, replaced it with sell side up until here. We balanced this area out, and we created a new sell side imbalance area right here. And then we balanced this out. This was already balanced out, and we created a new area right here. Now we just traded through this and balanced this out. And now we got a new buy side area that's being created as we speak. It's not even done creating the low. So if we come back through this, right? When we open up, we should see that we get a reaction probably here, or at worst case here on the, and if it's going to continue, it's either going to be, if it's really, really bullish, we shouldn't come too far down into this area again. If it's really bullish, right? If it's really bullish, 38.95 should be the area that we continue from. If it's, moderate, we might come back down to 38.49 or somewhere in between here, right? There may be a lower time frame area in between here. So let's look and see what we got. This imbalance.
I got a question you get a minute.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Okay, so that was a great question, Lexus asked. And so when you're saying like right now, the thing that would determine whether we buy or sell is on the lower time frame, 4 hour, maybe even an hour. This is where following Christine class is beautiful too, because structure is going to determine or help determine not only that high side where you're saying the imbalance. If it doesn't break below, we know you're gonna go high, or it may come down to the middle, or even tap the low of it. But you know, if it's really gonna stay bullish, or if it breaks through and decides to sell from those areas, like you said, even from filling that gap and decide to sell because it fill the gap, structure is going to be the determining factor for you in those areas of where you make your buy or sell from, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yep. But so
Thanks,
like
Christine. No, thanks, brother.
every way I'm breaking this down on the daily, you just need to repeat this on the lower time frame. The same thing I'm showing you I always like to start from the daily because that give you overall like what you should be expecting from a longer term perspective. And once you understand what should be expected on a longer term perspective, you can just go in and repeat the process on the lower time frame to get more precision entries, right? So same approach. We seeing that on the higher time frame, we trading in between this high and this low, this high, this low, this high, this low, right? On each one, right? And now that we seeing that, right, you can approach this, right, as, all right, this is my range, here to here. I am pretty much trading from discount to premium, and I'm trading from discount to premium over here, right? Meaning that I have already gone from the for sale area, to the buy area. I already left the potential areas of where it should buy within this range, and now I'm moving into the potential areas of where it should sell, right? And this gives you your entire outlook for what you should be expecting within this range, from this high to this low, this high to this low, this high to this low. And once you understand like where you are within the range, you can say, okay, I have several confirmations, right, inside of this range. And if I want to, I can even change up my fibs and put my entry fibs on here, right? And I have multiple confirmations. So if we look at everything from this perspective, right, we see our imbalances here. 50% of our move is right around here. I know anything above 50%, I should start looking for sales on this setup, right? And I have structure to confirm that, hey, imbalances in between 32, 29, 7 to 31, 440, right? I also know that from my range, I am trading now above 50%. So that means I'm moving into premium price areas, right? So I'm trading above 50% in premium price areas. I know that I can look at 618, which is living in between this imbalance. 70% is right at the low of this imbalance. 786 is right in between this imbalance. And at worst case, the monthly is dead smack at the 886. And I got an order block up there. So I just gave you multiple confirmations as to how you should be looking at mapping out or forward testing where we should see our reactions from. So this is called forward testing. This is not back testing. Like back testing would be, I'm going to go back and look how it did previously. I am forward testing. I'm looking at where are my seller side points of interest. If we're going up, it's got to be selling to somewhere, right? It's got to be selling to a particular area because it doesn't just smoothly go up. Even if it's going to go up just to drop and then continue, where do we see it likely dropping from? And that's what these areas act as, potential lower high targets, right? So you can literally take this same thing and now that we establish what we need to look for the week, we can go in throughout the week and just go get our money. We can just go get our money now because we know everything we need to be looking for throughout the week. If we don't sell from here, cool. I know we should sell from here. If we don't sell from here, I know it's a possibility we can sell from here. If we don't sell from there, I don't touch it again to look for a sale until we get to these areas. At the same time, I know, okay, if it doesn't go a trade below here, I should still be looking for a buy. I can buy it until I get to one of these areas. Same way. So you actually have your whole week is mapped out for your buys and your sales once you understand what's going on. The whole week is mapped out. And all you gotta do at that point is just, all right, who got my money? Which one of y'all? NAS, you got it? US 30, you got it? Which one? SPX, you got it? You know, and just go from there, you know? So I'm gonna send y'all this. This got all the imbalances. It's got the fibs. It's got the levels you need to look at. You just gotta remember how to approach it. You just got to remember how to approach it. That's all you got to do, right? And then you use all this information, right? Use all this information, and then we can go back and say, all right, cool. Here's what we can do, right? Here's how we can use all that information, right? So refresh this. All right. So we got durable goods on Monday, right? So if we open up on Monday, on today, if we open up today and we continue up, here's the next time frame we could likely see a shift. That is 8:30 on Monday. If this is going to be something that the markets decided want to react to at around 8:30, that could be setting you up for your next move down or next move up. Consumer confidence on Tuesday at 10. If we reach these points and we haven't sold off yet, guess what? That's another time frame that we could be used, that they could use to shift the market down, right? And even though this is a yellow folder, right? Because of the time frame, because of current market condition, preliminary wholesale inventories, that's actually in play. That's actually in play. Good trade balance, that's actually in play right now. This yellow folder, it's a yellow folder here, but given these conditions of the market, this is in play. So at 8:30, you got to be looking at this. At 10, you got to be looking at this. And like I said, if we haven't sold off or got a retracement at any given point up until Tuesday, you know, okay, if we have bought still up until Tuesday and we're here, let's say we're here, guess what? I know on Tuesday at 8:30 or Tuesday at 10, this could be setting me up for my drop, right? That's how they use the news. If it ain't happened by then, let's say we just buying. Come Wednesday, 6:30, Minster, he don't do too much. I don't know. Let me see. Who is he? Minster is Cleveland. No, he ain't gonna do nothing. Cleveland ain't gonna do nothing. But 9:30, market opens. Guess who talking? Powell. If we ain't done nothing by then, guess what? Guess what? We know for a fact this is going to change direction for continuation or rejection. We know for a fact Wednesday should give us whatever we want to get for that big move, right? And then consumer price index, this is moving the market. So 8:30 Thursday, unemployment's claim hasn't been moving the market too much because of, again, conditionings of the market right now. Normally unemployment claim would move the market, but right now we don't have enough people trying to work. So that's taking away the impact of that. And then Friday, manufacturing might do something at 10, but for the most part, if we're still buying on Monday, Sunday into Monday, you should be able to take it to fill up at least half of this imbalance from here to here. Let me make sure this is annotated. Yeah. All right, this is the imbalance. Just know, I'll just draw it out instead of going back and labeling it all. So anywhere you see in a red box, that's our imbalance levels. And then you can look at the fib levels next to it over here to get the numbers. All right. So now, let me send this again. And now let's look at dollar and GU EU cross. Actually, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna look at EU and U Swiss only, because GU just gonna do the same thing EU doing. So you can take all that approach and apply it to that. But all right, so dollar. Last week, this shaded area right here. This is an imbalance from higher time frame. This is like a weekly imbalance that I got shaded off right here. And look how we reacting to it, right? We done traded through it, came back down, traded back through it, held it, and we kind of using this as our new support, right? And dollar has been kind of shifting because it's taking out highs from that haven't been touched. This is a 2020 high, this is a 2017 high, and we've taken out highs that haven't been touched in years, right? And trading through this imbalance, right? So now we're in between two. This imbalance came from the weekly, and then this imbalance above us is coming from the monthly. That's where our big areas are, right? If we continue to have the reaction that we have with regards to inflation, we're gonna see dollar continue to push up. So that's why I'm targeting this area right here, because I'm thinking that we might go to 110, but that's just long-term projection. But for now, we in kind of like a bit of an instability right now, because we are at an area where we could drop or continue. So we didn't really have a lot of higher time frame moves to consider on dollar. But just like I told y'all before, right? This is a seller side imbalance from the weekly. We replace those with buy side imbalance on a daily. We got this one left here. We got this one that was left and used right here. And then they traded through this one. So I won't draw that. But right now we're sitting in the middle of this one. And we got this one below. Right. And as it stands, this is somewhat balanced, right? But given the fact that how long this has been in existence, I don't know if this is done being balanced out this higher time frame. Let me annotate that. Speaking. Weekly sell side imbalance. That's what that stands for. These are the daily, right? We traded to halfway here, sold off, we held inside of this imbalance, and then pushed back up to trade through. Came back into the area, held it as support, traded below, came back to this imbalance right here. And then we bought up, right? Traded back through the imbalance from here to here, made a new high, came back, traded back through this imbalance, back to this imbalance, and we held inside of this area, right? So right now, only lower time frame offerings for anything that's trading along or against the dollar is being made available. Corey, remind me, is there a correlation between dollars and the indices? I don't trade the correlation between the dollar and the indices. I know a lot of people do. Like David even said, if dollar is up, indices down. I don't trade that though. I actually look at bonds versus indices. Bonds versus indices. The 10-year and the 3-year and the 3-month. That's who I look for versus the versus dollar. So the not the 30-year, 2-year, 10-year, and 5-year. That's who I look for actually. So I know a lot of people do look at it, but I look at the bonds more so than I look at, but you can use it.
Yeah, guys, just to chime in real quick, brother Corey, exactly what Corey does as far as looking at the bonds, that's exactly what I do, guys. I really don't look at the correlations of US dollar and indices. It's just that I've gotten used to it because it's a constant question that I get as well on my Go Lives. Because you got a lot of people who trade currency pairs and all that stuff. So you got those who are curious about indices and they just want to look for some kind of correlation, because of course what they're trying to do is they're trying to look for the best way to analyze the indices and stuff like that. But when it comes to indices, remember, they're measuring performance, company performances. So anything that involves with that is what you want to do. And bonds is one of the things that I love to do as well. And I look at that correlation.
Yeah. And like dollar does have a correlation with it, and it has an inverse correlation, but it's not as strong as the bonds are. So bonds are basically purchasing, it measures the purchasing power of what the feds do. So as the feds buy more bonds, that's going to cause, they're moving their interest from bonds, to bonds from indices, right? And they're pumping liquidity into the bond market versus the indices. So when they're not pumping liquidity into the indices, it goes to the bonds. So there's the spending that they would have spent on bonds. No, the money that they would have spent on indices is now going into bonds. So all of the liquidity is shifting from indice spending to bond spending. And bonds are expected to be more safer play versus indices because it's a little more volatile than it is with compared to bonds. So a lot of big spenders focus their money towards bonds. So that's where a lot of liquidity is targeted towards. So that's why it's so tightly correlated, right? In regards to dollar though, right? Let me see. Then dollar. So we kind of hold it inside it between this imbalance right here on lower time frame. So what that means is since we kind of really all last week, 5 days of really just hanging between this tight range between the high here and the low here. So, and everything else has just been in between. So if you're looking for most moves on EU, GU, Swiss, UCAT, you're not gonna get a lot of movement from a higher time frame perspective. So everything that you got to look for has to be on a lower time frame, right? So not a lot of interest in these this week, but still, still the same. Let me minimize this. Still the same, right? This was from last week, right? This sell last week. I did take some of it here on this drop, but I didn't trade it that much because it just kind of was just ranging and I wasn't sure where we were going to go. So I really don't think much needs to be changed from here. Maybe update this. Not a lot to be changed, really. You got this imbalance here. To here. And that's pretty much been filled. Not even pretty much, it's been filled. So because in a situation like this, we pretty much 50-50 on this. This can go up or down. Because we filled this imbalance and we still sitting around in between it, right? The high on this imbalance is, let me look at the daily right quick. From the daily, we here to here. That's our sell side imbalance. Here to here. From the daily, right? So from our daily perspective, we need to be considering here. EU looking similar to the indices. Looking pretty similar. The low on that is 67.15. And let me scoot this over. That's our daily imbalance high. The low on that is 64.24. 64.24. And this is our imbalance low. That's where I'm gonna be looking for targets throughout the week. From that perspective, let me slide you. And then we're inside of this one right now. We pretty much traded to the high of this one. So we got the potential to kind of go any direction from here because we've already traded to the high and we showing signs that we could reject. So 61.13. Move this over here. 61.13 is this imbalance we in right now. The low on this one is the high on this one. That's 52.04. 52.04. All right, so that's our high. That's our low right here. And we pretty much got it mapped up. So right now we are in the middle of this one, but what I don't like about this is the way dollar is sitting. Dollar is kind of ranging, and this is kind of ranging inside of this imbalance right here. And we pretty much from this high to this low, like we mentioned before, this is our range right here. This low to this high, we're pretty much 50%. Price sitting right at the middle of the range. So we can actually go any direction from here. Can really go any direction. I'm not saying a side, but like I said, it works the same way. If we trade above the middle of this and we continue to push up, we know we at least go to the high of this imbalance. If we trade above the high, we should not have a rejection until we start getting into this imbalance up here. So, and that's where we should see we get a higher low from. So let me see this EU chart. If you look at, I'm not gonna mark up GU, but if you look at GU, it should look something similar to this. I want to kind of speed through this one, get through this so we can go to look at a few more things. Then we got you Swiss. You Swiss is looking like a whole M right now, but I know you can see it just like I can. High. Low. We might not use this right now, but we need to know it's there. Right? And then from we got this order block right here that's being used. And as small as it may look, it's still holding its own, right? And then underneath that, we got this imbalance. So if we continue to go down, we got this area to target. It's kind of ranging though. We've been ranging last week. We ranged between this high and then this low on the weekly. I mean, on for the whole week of the whole last week. We only went around this high to this low, but at this low, we held at this order block. So, and we got the monthly right here. So we had two things holding us from continuing to go lower. This will all depend on what dollar wants to do. If dollar wants to go up, this rejection will be the start of another continuation up to the upside. If it decides it wants to sell off, right, there's two situations. We could just continue to drop, or we could come into this imbalance and drop somewhere in between that and continue to go lower. So we'll know again, we'll start to get signs throughout this week. So we'll start to see how it responds. Let's draw you here to here. You here to here. And like I said, we can see this push down. If it doesn't hold this order block right here, we continue into this area. If it doesn't continue to push down and we see an up move, I would look to trade it until we get to this area. And maybe we start rejecting from here, or till we get to the middle, which is right around 98.32. So 3 scenarios we should see if it drops down. We go here. If it opens and continues up, we look to trade it till we get to here. And then we watch for how it responds here, because now we're inside of the imbalance. We can trade it to here. And if it gets anywhere above that, I'm going to be looking to see what happens once we get around these two areas. So, oops. Either we open up and we just continue to sell off, or we sell off from near this low or near the middle of the imbalance from here. The first thing you can look at is likely will depend on which how we open up and the market opens up for us. If it opens up and we just continue down, you can take the break and retest and sell it on down to we get to that bullish imbalance that's drawn up below. If it doesn't, if it starts to push up, then you can trade it for the buy until we get into this daily imbalance. And once we get into that daily imbalance, that's where we can see a lower high being made over there. So let me drop that to shift. And then I'll open it up for more questions. Anybody got any other questions? Or anybody got any pairs you want to look at? Or anybody just want to just say, you know, F you or get off the phone, get off the line. Let me go enjoy my Sunday. Anybody got a music request? I can put on some music in the background. Anybody want to hear David anymore? Anybody want to hear Christine drop some sauce? Like, what y'all want to do, man? Like,
What,
So you're just pretty free?
huh?
Are you just saying you're free for the rest of the Sunday?
Nah, I'm just opening it up for y'all.
Oh, because I was about to say I'm ready. I'm, to lock in if you're ready.
Man, yeah, man. All I want to say, another thing is, one, like I told you, I went to this conference this week, right? One of the biggest things that they reiterated, and these people that make like I said, Magic Johnson was there, and what's this guy's name? Myron. Of course, I can't remember it now that I want to talk about him. Myron Golden, right? These guys making millions and millions of dollars a day. Like and then I got another mentor now. His name is Lamar Tyler, and he runs this business mastermind or business group of just nothing but Black and minority businesses. And he's helped all of those businesses get to like 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures under his programs, right? And one of the biggest things that he mentioned was he wouldn't have gotten where he was if he didn't know how to use other people's money. So I just want to reiterate to y'all, like, do what you can do to learn how to trade right now so that you can take these FTMO challenges, get this money that's not yours. Like, that needs to be your main focus. Your main focus right now. It needs to be learning how to trade and learning how to trade with other people's money. You don't need to use your own money for this. I don't care if you get one payout. I don't care if you trade good enough to get one payout. Whatever you do with that payout, you can open up your new account. You can open up your own account. Like, if let's say you do a $10,000 challenge, right? I think that thing costs like $100, $200, right? You get one payout that's $1,000. You just got $800 back. That you spent $200 to get $800. That you're gonna get $200 back on your first payout. So really, you just took $200 to make $800 to be refunded $200 to make $1,000. Like, zero investment, really. Zero investment. If you do the $100,000 challenge, right? You make $10,000. The $100,000 challenge costs $600 to get the challenge, right? You finish the challenge, you go through the verification challenge. Even if you only get paid out one time at $10,000, you would have made $8,000 off of that $600 investment that you would have gotten back the $600. So you really would have made $8,600 off of really a zero risk investment. I don't care what you're doing right now. I don't care what size your account is right now. I don't care if you're working a full-time job. Your main focus needs to be to learn how to trade other people money. Your focus needs to be to pass these challenges. It needs to be to get your first payout at minimum, get your first payout and take that and go from there. Because like you can literally be in 45 days, you can be in a whole different predicament in your life. And I'm telling y'all this because I'm having to understand this all over again, right? Like I've been feeling all crazy, been going through all this little up, down, depression, out of all that kind of stuff I've been going through. But all this time, I've forgotten that everything I just went through for the past couple months, I could literally be in a whole different scenario in 30 days. Literally in 30 days, it'd be a whole different scenario. So whatever you got going on right now, focus on this craft. And if you take this craft, you can literally change your whole life in 30 days with money that ain't even yours. With money that's not even yours. It's a zero risk investment. If you take it, even if you don't pass it the first time, just don't break the rules. Just don't break the rules. You know you got to trade 10 days. You know you have to not go over, 5% per day. You know you don't have to go, you can't go over 10% in the whole time frame. And just don't go over the rules, because you can spend that, whatever you spend one time, and retake it until you pass it. Like I just did a challenge like last month. I didn't pass it, but I got to the 12 days. I was like, you know what? I don't feel right about this. I didn't break no rules. So I'm just going to sit that to the side. I'm going to go back, review everything that I did, why I didn't. And then, hey, I'm going to schedule it. I'm going to schedule my next start for July the 11th. And you got to think about this, because, what I didn't consider is I had 2 federal holidays within that time frame. So that means I had slow volatility before and after, and I had a holiday on the 2 different time frames, right? So that essentially means that I was taken out of my trading routine for 6 days. So that was 6 days out of those 20 trading days that I really didn't get to take full advantage of, right? So now this was something that I didn't know I needed to consider before. That was one of the things I noted that I needed to go through. I wouldn't even wait until, I would give it a couple of days before July 4th, Christine, because you're going to have that lull, a potential price lull before and after around that July 4th date. That's why I said July 11th, because that roots out that whole little potential for sluggishness or potential for erratic trading. That way, July 11th, I know I got at least till Labor Day. That's September, right? That's September that I know that I got nothing but trading days that I can take full advantage of. I don't have to worry about no kind of lack, Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me turn it on too. I don't have to worry about no lack of liquidity between that time. All the way from July 11th to September 5th, 15th, whatever Labor Day is, I don't know. But anyway, I know, like, I'm calling out a couple of people, like Khalil. I know you've been working on it, but this time frame is this where you got to take advantage of. Anna, I know you haven't tried to, but like from now till the 11th, take those practice exams, take those practice challenges, go through them, and just knock them out. Brandy, I don't know if you passed yours or not yet, but let's take this time like to go ahead and knock this out, because the faster that we can do this, the faster we're going to get the money, get our money. This our money. All this money that's in this market that we just letting people just get these people talking about they 6-figure, 7-figure traders. Like, so what? Literally in 30 days, we could be the same people. We could be those 6-figure traders in 30 days. Even like, think about this, right? It is July, June, right? 7 months, right? And if you finish this challenge within that, you still have the potential to make 6 figures trading by the end of this year. That's all I'm thinking about. That's all I'm thinking about right now. I know that I still can make the 6 figures that I want to make trading this year with only 7 months, with only 5 months left, really. I still can do it. And with not even using my own money. Not even using my own money, I can still make those 7 figures. I can still make 6 figures. I can still make multiple 6 figures. I can make in a life, there is even a situation that I can make 8 figures still. Somebody got paid out, FTMO payout, 400 racks. Somebody got paid out somebody did a 800, not 800, but a $500,000 profit split. That's 400 racks. $400,000 that they just got paid out. They just did this. And I promise you that person don't know how to trade better than me. I promise he don't know how to trade better than David. I promise you he don't know how to trade better than Christine. I promise you. I promise you, he don't know how to trade better than Khalil, Chrissy. He don't know how to trade better than none of y'all, because I know that I taught y'all everything that y'all need to know. I know David done taught y'all. I know Christine. I know Kim. I know Alfredo. I know all of these people have been putting in their work, you know. So we got to put some urgency to this. We all need to put more urgency. We need to take more steps that are going to give us that push that we need. Like, this needs to get done. This has to get done. That's where my mindset is right now. Like, I don't want to wait. I don't want to let this linger on anymore. I don't want to keep saying, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna do this. It has to happen. It has to get done, and not next year, not the next couple days. I got a time frame to put a plan together. I'm giving myself to July 11th. The plan will be put together, and then we'll be going the next 30 days. We'll be in another atmosphere. And I want y'all to take the same exact approach, man. Like, we don't have no excuse. Like, everybody else out here right now, they can make up an excuse as to why they can't do this. But we know we can literally draw some lines on this damn chart, put a line here, put a line there, and set our proper risk management, set our proper lot size, set our proper stop loss, and make whatever the hell we want to make. We know this for a fact. We know it for a fact. Are you saying wait until the 11th before you begin? Yep, I'm waiting until the 11th before I begin. And like I said, I'm waiting until the 11th because it's no holidays in between that time frame. I don't want to start July 4th week because I already know it's gonna be. I'm about to go relax. I'm gonna go enjoy or whatever that weekend, and I know it's gonna be kind of slow going into and out to it. And then I don't want to start now because I know, all right, if I start now, like I say, if I start Monday, you know, I'll have a good strong week to trade up until the 1st, but markets will probably be slow on Friday. And then they'll probably be slow on Monday going into Tuesday, or I might not be able to gauge what's going on Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. So that's really 3 days I get taken away from my trading that I would rather not trade on those days and not deal with what could happen when I can get a better gauge of, between after the 11th, I know I got clear selling. I don't have no holidays. I don't have no federal holidays. I don't have nothing on my calendar going on in between those days. And that I can just go ahead and focus on locking in on all 20 of the trading days in between that 30-day period. That's why I'm gonna wait till the 11th. You can share your screen, Christine.
You got to put it on one more time. Oh, I got it. All right, let's go. How y'all doing? Love you guys. All right, so Corey must have been on my session. I did a whole weekend this weekend and put some sevens in the chat for the people who were there on the FTMO challenge and how to use it to build wealth for your family. I also did a finance session last weekend on exactly how to use it to build wealth for you and your family. So I'll do a quick overview just out of respect for Corey as my mentor. But I'm telling you, if you miss in my classes, you playing yourself. And I'm not saying that to be arrogant. You are literally playing yourself if you're missing my classes. So here we go. All right. I hope y'all paying attention because I'm going to run through this fast. On my sessions, you get to ask as many questions as you want and we go through it slow, but I'm going to go super fast. The average person makes about $50,000 or $60,000. Let's just say $60,000 every 2 weeks. You got to get these people 88 hours of your life. And after taxes get taken out, that's about $2,000 every 2 weeks. Okay. If you do $100,000 account challenge, like he said, you can just get your money back. So it's really risk-free. So you pay the little $500, $600, whatever it is for the $100,000 challenge. You have a goal of 10%, guys. But I want you to know where people mess up. They try to do the 10% in a week. If they give you 30 days to do the 10%, you can do it in less, but just take the 30 days, right? Now, once you get your account, guys, I only go for 2.5% a week. And people be like, okay, that's a little, why 2.5%? That's $2,500 a week. Warren Buffett says it's not knowing the game that you're playing is more important than how hard you play the game. Meaning that if I'm going hard and I'm doing backflips in my funded account and, I can make 10,000 in a day, the likelihood of me losing and giving my family's money back to the market is higher than me going at a slow pace and having discipline and control, right? So if I go for 2.5% a week and I could show you guys the trades I've taken, right? Let's go. Look at this sale. Look at this sale real quick, y'all. Here we go. Bitcoin, watch this. On the phone, 9 o'clock at night, Sunday night, in a couple of hours, Bitcoin went 2,000 pips. Now let's do some math real quick. I only risked 1.5% on Bitcoin. I only risked $1.50 on my $100,000 account. So $1.50 times 2,400 pips equals what? I'm done for the week in 6 hours. I'm done for the week. Now let's see. Let's just say let me go to US 30. I can show you it on US 30. Let's keep going. Where you at, US 30? Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I love the way you put it. That's your family's money.
That's my family's. I'm not giving my family's money back to the market because I need to show out and have a big ego and show I could trade and I could really make 50,000. Don't nobody got time for that. I just showed you what a $60,000 job barely gets you to qualify for a 1-bedroom apartment. And I just showed you how you can make that in a week. Hold on, here we go. Let's go to US 30. Let's go to the real trades that I took because, people could talk all day, but let's go to the real trades. Oops, we back in February, y'all. Sorry, hold on. And you don't need to be LeBron James to do this. Like Corey said, that person cannot trade better than us. Hold on, let me plug up my laptop real quick. Let me plug in my laptop. Okay, here we go. So look at this, y'all. This is just an example. Complete close above, boom, in 30 minutes. Yeah, in 30 minutes, you made 402 pips. Usually I risk very low on US 30. So let's pull out the calculator. Usually I just risk $10 per pip because I'm a person who likes to stack my orders. So let's do $10 per pip times 402 pips. How much did you make in 30 minutes? Boom, you're done for the week. You stop trading. Okay. Remember, if you can make 10% in a month on a challenge, you can make 2.5% a week, right? Let's go to the compound interest calculator, show you how to take this for your family. So if you're making 2.5% a week, where you was on a $60,000 job and you wasn't even making that in 88 hours, and you only traded, what I show you, 6 hours on Bitcoin and 30 minutes on US 30. So you just only trade about an average of 5 hours per week. You just take one of those weeks where you're making your 2.5% and put it into an investment account, just a regular, daily, boring mutual fund for you and your family. Let's say you initially invest $2,500 and you put $2,500 a month. You do whatever the rest you want with the rest of your money, right? Let's see how much money you have in 10 years at a conservative rate of return of 10% per year. Okay, here we go. In 10 years, you have $500,000. Now, let's take that same $500,000 and we just gonna do 500,000. And let's just let it sit there for another 10 years. That's 1.3 for you and your family. And you can do more if you want to, but this is a government website, investor.gov. This is just very small conservative interest rates. And that's what you could do off of a measly $100,000 account. Let's go, Corey. That's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, man. I want us to take more urgency, man. And I'm talking to myself and everybody else right now, man. Like, we don't have no excuse. We know stuff that people walking around on the street wish they don't even know to think about what we even know. Like, they don't even know that. They don't know that you can print money on demand. All they know is, I need to work 40 years. I need to work 50 years. When we literally know that we don't even have to use our own money to do this. We don't even have to use our own money to do what we're trying to do. It's just, we got to be more disciplined. We got to be more consistent, and we got to stay with it. That's all we got to do. And I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself, like, this has to get done. Like, this, there's no more talking. There's no more lollygagging. Like, that initial investment is literally nothing compared to what you could get, you know? What we sitting on right now, that initial investment, like, take that out your actual trading account, or, you know, if you got it, like, don't even trade your live account no more. Like, save that for a bill. Like, take that money out and pay bills with it, but then go and get you one of those funded accounts, man, and pass that shit. Like, that's it, you know, like, and like I said, if it doesn't look right, if you're struggling that week, just pause, right? Just pause, right? Just make sure you meet your minimum day requirement. What I usually do is, if I'm feeling some kind of way and I want to meet my minimum daily requirement, every day, the rest of the time until I get to 10, I'll just open and close a 0.01 on Ripple, just to have an open and close trade, get my little 10 days out of the way. That's one of those requirements met. And then the rest of the time, I make sure I don't go over my daily and my max limit. And then I'll just wait for the reset. And as long as you positive $1, you can retake it. You don't even have to be $1. I think you just got to be a change above the initial balance, you can retake it. So don't go, like I think, and like Christine said, don't go into this thinking that you got to do this in 2 days, 2 hours. You don't have to make $10,000 in 2 hours. You got to do it in 30 days. And you got to think about these 30 days as these 30 days are 30 days that could change your whole life. These ain't just 30 days to just give away. These are 30 days that you could be in a whole different tax bracket. You could be in a whole different mindset. You can be in a whole different place financially, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Like, this could put you in a whole different atmosphere. Like, you could literally be one person on July 11th and be a whole different person on August the 15th. So I'm gonna just take that as y'all got it. Drop some sevens if you got some value out of this session. I'm gonna drop the chat, the charts one more time. And make sure that y'all got those. I'm gonna drop them in the Discord real quick. Drop them all. Let me just put them all on one sheet. And then I'll just drop it from there. Where the heck is my notes? Oh, it's right here on a different screen. Trading. So give me 1 second before beforehand. Let me just get y'all, I'm gonna get y'all the link to the recording, and then I'll get y'all the link to all the links for the indices and all the setups. Like, we can't treat this like it's like we don't know what this could do. We got to have more urgency. Like, we know we can do this, right? We know we can do this. We know we can make 10% on this. We know that in 30 days. We know for a fact. We know everything we need to know. We know how to do this. We know how to approach this. We know how to do all of this. Like, we just got to do it. And we can't keep on saying, oh, next month, next this, next that. We can't keep on doing that. We can't, because the longer we keep doing that, the less we get to enjoy it. The less we get to enjoy it when we finally do get it. That's saying that now, because I waited this 30 days to do this, guess what? That's 30 days I don't get to say I made all the money I want to make and I'm living how I want to live. That's another 30 days that I don't get to spend in the future doing this, right? Living how I want to live. That's 30 less days that I get to spend with my family in 2020, whatever, or whenever I'm supposed to leave this earth. That's 30 more days that I don't get to spend with them. That's 30 more days I don't get to enjoy the fruits of my labor. If it take you another 6 months, guess what? You just took away 6 months of your time that you had to spend. That's how we got to start thinking about it. That's how we got to start thinking about it. We got to start thinking about it along those lines. That's 30 days that I don't get to spend. That's 60 days that I don't get to spend. As hard as I've been working these past 2 years, I should have been had everything that I've been trying to get. But I ain't worked with this urgency. I wasn't moving with this mindset, you know. I just been moving like, I'm good. I'll get it. I'll do it. I'll knock it out soon. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I've been operating, and that we can't do that no more. If y'all go to my page, right, and y'all look at my last post on IG, I posted a video of Chadwick Boseman, right? And Chadwick Boseman literally was just the Black Panther a few years ago, and this man is not on the earth no more. This man was literally at the peak of his career, and ain't no telling what he would have done after that. This man was the biggest Black superhero on screen, and then months after that, year after that, he died from cancer. Like, that's how can you not take advantage of the opportunity we got? You know, and I know he wished he had done some stuff. I know his family had a wish he done some stuff. And then it was so bad to the point where he wasn't even considering all of that, to the fact that he didn't even have a will. He didn't have a trust fund, nothing. So now he done all this work, made all this impact on the world, and he don't even get to distribute it to his family in a means that will actually leave them everything they want to get generational wealth. Now he had to leave that up to the government and to the probate court, and they took damn near half of this man's earning. It's crazy. Like, we can't do this no more. We can't do this no more. Nobody on this call, like nobody in our community can do this anymore. We got to move with a way different sense of urgency, man. And that's number one priority, is we got to move with a different kind of urgency. And we got to do it calculated, and we got to make sure that we moving with that bigger picture in mind, but staying in the moment to know that we got it, how we got to operate. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. And I dropped all the stuff in the chat and in the Telegram. I mean, not Telegram, but in the Discord. And if y'all don't have anything else, I'll catch y'all out throughout the week.
Thank you so much, Corey.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Great session. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Corey.